There's if I say the words is over of, does that bring back memories or anything? For some of you guys, I sort of wish, I hope that a lot of you never heard of that, because it's so much easier to just make this kind of question into a little equation. So I've given you some key translations. We already know that is means equals. We've seen that before already. Now, here's the thing. This is what gets me a little sad nowadays, is that fewer and fewer students are coming out of high school knowing what the hell the word of means. Right? It almost sounds like Bill Clinton. Everyone turns on is. But of means multiply. 1/5 of 10 means 1/5 times 10. How do you take half of 40? What's half of 40? 20. It's 1/2 times 40. It reduces to 20. 30% of something means 0.3 times that thing. So of means multiply. This used to be just a known, of course it does. And nowadays it's like, what the hell? And what is, of course, going to translate to X, because it's the piece I don't know. So 13 is 37% of what? So 13 is equals 37%. Math doesn't like percentages, believe it or not. Math wants the actual number. And what number is 37%? 0.37. Do you guys get that? A percentage is a representation of the number, whatever it is, right? So 37% is one way to represent 0.37. So when I go to try to do math with it, I have to make it into a decimal. Otherwise, math is like, what the shit is this? Like, oh, we're sorry. We humans made that up, math. We're sorry. So 13 is 37%, 0.37, of times what? X. Because I don't know. Now, how do you solve this? How do you get X by itself? Divide. Because what is it right now? It's 0.37 times X. I'm going to divide by 0.37. So then I can figure out what the hell X is. And then, you know what that little symbol there means? It means approximately, right? Because this came out to be some gross decimal. So here, if I see 12 is what percent of 180, 12 is what percent, I don't know, put an X there, of means times 180. And then how do I solve for X? I divide by 180. I mean, that's just so beautiful. You're like, whatever you want to call beautiful, Jeff. So let's try this first one here together. What is, so what do I put there already?
X.
X is equals 45%, 0.45 of times 200. 200. Now what's really nice about that one is I don't have to solve. X is already by itself. Well, that kicks ass. Right? So 0.45 times 200 comes out to be what? No. 90. I like that. Let me ask you this question real quick. Let's see how much you guys really, really understand about this. What would 45% of 100 be? What's 45% mean? 45 out of... So what's 45% of 100? 45. Does that make sense? What's 100% of 100? 100. What's 50% of 100? 50. Since percentages are based on 100, percentages of 100 are easy. Right? 2% of 100 is 2. Okay. So what's 45% of 200? Will be twice 45. Freaking 90. Holy shit. Now, do you have to do it that way? No. You can just plug in the old calculator. You can set up the freaking long multiplication, whatever the shit. Or you can realize, since that number is based on 100, it's going to be twice 45. 45% of 800 would be 8 times 45. That's really beautiful. Maybe. Any of you guys Well, nowadays, this isn't as relevant of a question. Anybody ever been a waiter or a waitress? Or maybe even currently is one? So nowadays, on most receipts, they list the tips. Is that true where you work?
Yeah.
Have you ever worked somewhere that did not do that? And you've had people that either are just assholes and didn't give you a good tip, or they don't know how to calculate tip. Yes?
In some restaurants, like the tips, like it's already given, like you don't even have to give the waiter a tip, or it already comes in the receipt.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm talking about working somewhere.
Somewhere.
Back in the day, they didn't list the suggested gratuity amounts at the bottom. They relied on people to know how to do the math, which in one sense for me was like, thank God they're having to do math somewhere. But as a waiter or waitress, you're like, they don't know math, shit. And normally when they make a mistake, it's against you, right? They're like, oh, it cost $60, then here's $2 tip. Well, thank you so much for that, right? You guys understand? So sometimes back in the day, waiters and waitresses that I talked to had estimations to know if the tip was good or not. But I don't know. Nowadays, it doesn't really happen as much because it didn't have to. It's sort of like the change that comes out automatically. I get a little tear because I'm like, that was one place people had to actually subtract and stuff in their head, and now that's gone. It just comes out automatically. Damn it.
Could you show us how they used to do it?
Well, here, real quick. What's the normal tip? 15%, right? Or 20. Let's do 15. Let me see if you guys get this. 10% of something. What is 10% as a fraction? 10% is 10 over 100. What does that reduce to? 1/10. So 10% of, like, if I had a $60 bill, 10% of 60 is 1/10 of 60. 10 goes into 60 how many times? 6. Now watch. This gets interesting. So if 10% of 60 is 6, what's 5% of 60? 3. I love how you said that. It's beautiful. 10% of 60 is 6. 5% of 60 is half that. So what's 15% of 60? 9. There you go. Right? So really, just with the decimal back once, cut that number in half and add it back on top of that, and that's like a standard average kind of tip. So if you got more than that, you're happy. If you got less than that, like, what the hell did I do to this person? It may even matter. So here, you guys try this next one here if you haven't tried it already. Try to do that next problem there. So notice these problems really are just two-step problems. So it's, how do I change this into an equation? It'd be 72 equals x times 180. Then you do what? Divide by 180. So you get x is
0.04.
0.04? Is that what you guys got?
Just 0.4.
0.4 makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because half of 180 would be what? What's half of 180?
90.
So 50% of 180 would be 90. 72 is a little less than 50% then. So it makes sense it would be 0.4, because what's 0.4 as a percentage? Once, twice, 40%. Do you see how I kind of reason that out? 72 is a little less than half, so it should be a little less than 50%. So 40% makes sense. All right, yes, ma'am.
Oh, do you want us to put 40%?
Yeah, because the question is what percent. So you pretty much always change that last thing. Yeah. All right, let's do one more, and then I'll let us out of here. So how do I translate this? 2
Equal.
equals
0.5.
point. No. You wish. If there's a 5% account of the bank, I wish they do 0.5. That'd be awesome. Once, twice, so 0.05. Of what?
X.
And then you just divide by?
2.
No.
No, 5, sorry.
Yes. Whatever's in front of the x is what you don't want there, so you divide by that. Bam. What's happening? No. 40, yes. 2 divided by very small should be bigger, right? So x will be 40. Just do 2 divided by 0.05. And your calculator said 4? What's it say?
Well, 5 goes into 2 0 times, but 5 goes into 20 4 times.
But it's not 20 divided by 5. Watch this real quick, watch. See what I did in my head?
It's 2.
If I move it over twice, I gotta move this over twice. It's 200 divided by 5, which is 40.
How come you did it on the other one?
Say again?
You didn't go over the small one first time than the other one.
Oh, I didn't really need to. Because I'm not dividing. Here I'm not dividing any decimal, so there's nothing to move. Right? But again, if you put in your calculator 2 divided by 0.05, it will say 40. But if you want to do it by hand, you've got to be real careful what you change it to. If I move the bottom over twice, the top over twice, I got all whole numbers. That's a lot easier to do in my head. Okay. Anyway. Yes? About what? How to get which one? Oh. So right here, I have to do 2 divided by 0.05, right? Okay, good. If I move this over once, twice, so it's no longer a decimal, I have to do the same thing to the top. We've done that many times. So if I want to do 0.05 into 2, don't have to move this over twice, and move this over twice. 5 goes into 240 times. Okay, I'm not going to say any more about that.
But what about the 32?
Oh, we'll do that one next time. But, I mean, if you can translate that question into the same sort of question as number 1. 1,600 is 8% of something I don't know. Do you see that? So then you can just translate that directly to the equation.
This is what I do with my last chart. So I was trying to do this division. I made this little part and I moved that over.
No, wait. What'd you move over twice? Where's the decimal into? Where's the decimal? Right here. Well, if it was before, it'd be 0.2. It wouldn't be 2.
So you always have to go back here.
Where's the decimal always for a whole number at the end? If it was in the middle, it wouldn't be a whole number.
You said if you don't pass homework back, you haven't corrected it, right?
That's right.
Okay.